It's a new year, baby. Happy New Year to everybody. 2026. We got a full calendar year of League of Legends ahead of us. The past did not matter. What happened in 2025? Hell if I know. We're on to 2026. And with that, I'm going to predict everything that I think is going to happen this year across the three regions that I typically cover on this channel. So the LCS, the LEC, the LCK, and then we will talk about the international events and one spicy ass prediction by the very end. So before you hear mine, do me a favor, go down below in the comments, put your spiciest prediction of what you think is going to happen this year across any region, across LoL esports, beyond. You could think that League of Legends is going to blow up, whatever you think it's going to be. Doesn't matter. Put it down there, hit that like and subscribe button on your way back up, and let's get into the list. I'm going to start with my home region. First and foremost, it's North America. I'm a North American guy. Why would I not? I think the LCK, did I really just say the LCK? I think the LCS is going to have 100,000 average viewers again this year. I think the rebrand back to the LCS combined with just the overall hype leading into the year of people seemingly a little bit more excited, I think we're going to get back to that number. Will it maintain that number all the way through the end of summer? I hope so. I sure as hell hope so. This feels like a make or break year for the league. Maybe the most important it's had yet because it has to rebound in the same way that 2024 did for 2023's mess up with going to weekdays. The LTA could have done irreparable damage to this league. We have no clue. We will only find out on the first day, which kicks off, as you will be seeing down below, January 24th. There was actually a positive post on Reddit about it the other day, which made me really happy. But I think hitting six figures, hitting 100,000 average viewers, at least by the end of spring, before the summer potential drop-off, would be massive. If it doesn't hit that mark, then yeah, I think we can start raising some of the alarm bells that, oh God, we might be in bigger trouble. The other thing I will say, I don't think we're going to have any repeat winners this year. I'm trying to think. Did FlyQuest win MSI for North America? I know Team Liquid won the split one, like the combined thing, because FlyQuest lost to 100 Thieves. But I think the domestic split, yeah, I think they still did win. And then Team Liquid finished second, but then there was the whole like umpty subbing out for UG thing. Either way, yeah, I don't think there's going to be any repeat winners for the LCS this year. It feels wide open more than it has in years past. It feels like one of those where whoever wins lock-in will be far ahead of everybody, but then will immediately come back to earth as spring and summer take their course. So I think across all three, lock-in, spring split, and summer, we will not have a single repeat winner in the LCS. And here's my, not boldest, but like I want to go through each of these regions and predict who I think is going to be the best player in the region by the time year ends. So when we get to summer, when we qualify for Worlds, my prediction for North America specifically is that Blabber is going to be the best player in the league. I think he was already close to it last year. He was not that far off. He just had those moments that like we look at and be like, oh God, that J4 run it down mid. I mean, C9 was so close to taking the entire thing. They really were. And then, yeah. Oh, wait, no, actually, correcting my statement from earlier. It was C9 and FlyQuest, wasn't it? Because TL missed MSI. Wasn't that it? I don't know. I might be misremembering really bad. But I just genuinely think Blabber feels like it's going to be one of those pop-off years for him. I wonder if APA, even like, but for Blabber, it just feels like one of those where APA might pair well with him. And I think we'll get a good glimpse of that when we look at the North American Tag Team event, because we'll see a bunch of APA, of Blabber, and many of these other guys hopefully playing solo queue together, that we can kind of get the idea of like, okay, what's it going to look like? Maybe we can see them pair up against some of the other pros. That's pseudo promo for that event. I just need teams to submit their payments and entry forms by January 8th. But that's the LCS. On to the LEC. I'm going to make a bold claim right off the rip. I don't think G2's winning once this year. Yeah, I said it. I don't know why. It just feels like it's about that time where the pieces around them, or like the other teams around them, might be able to step up. I'm looking specifically at K-Corp. I'm looking at Koi to hopefully evolve a little bit from where they were last year and challenge G2. I don't think G2 is that far ahead of everybody within Europe, and I want to see a year where G2 doesn't win. I just think it would be a good thing for the LEC and the competition of it long term if G2's not just the de facto best team in the region. And I think Busio going to K-Corp brings up my other one. I think Kalist is going to end up being the best player in the LEC by year end. purely because he's got one of the best supports, if not the best support, in the entire West alongside of him. So I think it's going to make him look absolutely incredible. And K-Corp fans, I think you're in for a great year. I mean, look, people want to clown on Kalista, and I know like people will bring up Jan and Masu and how they went through their sophomore slumps after they had amazing freshman year and debuts in the league. I think somebody's going to buck that trend here soon. Like, we are due for a rookie that has a great first year and then follows it up with an even better second year. It hasn't happened in a bit. And I just feel like Kalist is that guy, considering the upgrade that he got with Busio alongside of him. It should be absolutely insane. As long as they click as a duo, oh man, I think Kalist is just going to take over this league, and the KC bot lane is going to be absolutely disgusting. And with that, I've got one final prediction for the LEC. It's not really viewership because I think the LEC is in a good spot with their road trips, and I don't want to put numbers as long as they like sell out whatever road trips are going to happen there. I believe that Los Ratones will get an announcement before the end of 2026 that they will be in the LEC permanently in 2027. That's my guess. Either Riot buys out a team and gives them a slot in some capacity, or they find a way to get in. And I don't think it's going to come through them like getting investors and like getting the money to pay for it. I just think there's going to be some situation that pops up that allows them to get in for some reason. It's going to piss people off. But at the end of the day, it's going to be really good for the LEC. It also is going to be a question of what happens with Los Ratones after they get through this winter split. Because if they're permanently in the LEC and this winter split doesn't go great, like, you know, change has got to happen in order for them to be competitive in some way, shape, or form. But it sounds like Kadra wants to take Los Ratones to the highest level he possibly can. And I feel like he's in the position now to force Riot's hand at least a little bit. But we'll see. That's my bold prediction. I just think they get into the LEC permanently next year without needing to go the route that K-Corp did of securing like this massive funding round. They will just find a way. Kadra seems like, for whatever reason, he always finds a way. Transitioning over to the LCK. I'll start off spicy. Like, obviously, this has been the league of Gen G and a little bit of Hama life sprinkled in for a little bit. And T1 has been known, notably, to win Worlds, but not win domestic. I think that changes this year. I think, don't forget, there's only one LCK winner. The lock-in or first stand tournament doesn't count towards the LCK itself. There's no winner for spring at all. There's just that winner in summer. I think T1 wins their first LCK title, and God knows, I don't even know when the last time they won it was. Like, I legitimately don't know the last time they've won LCK. And that speaks to how wild this team is at Worlds. But Pays feels like the guy that's going to click and help them work on a domestic level. Internationally, might be a different story. But I just want to see T1 win that LCK title, because then it shuts up a lot of Gen G fans and Hama Life fans. But I think also notably fires up Gen G going into Worlds if they're not going, like if T1's going in as the favorites. Even though the past 2 years they've gone into Worlds and it's been like, okay, they're clearly not the favorites. Like, it flips the whole dynamic of the tournament on its head. With that, though, I will say, I still think Chovy is going to be considered the best player in the world for the LCK. I have no reason to believe that that's going to change, because Korean League of Legends values, hey, this dude CS is incredibly well, exudes a lot of pressure in lane that then allows them to translate it elsewhere. And I don't see Faker getting the better of him in any way, shape, or form. Chovy's just simply better there. I don't see Zeka getting the better of him in lane. And I just think it's one of those where the Korean style of League of Legends will just continue to allow Chovy, so long as he gets these leads and just doesn't play in a way that gives away anything or doesn't get caught out all that much. Yeah, I just think Chovy's going to continue to be the best player in the LCK without a question. But the macro prediction that I got for the LCK is that I think this backpacks off of something that Arnold said in an interview with Trayton. I think two teams are either going to sell from the LCK or get bought by Riot Games Korea. Now, do I think that the LCK goes down to 8? No, I think they want to keep 10 teams. But you heard Arnold say in that interview that teams are already looking to sell, but they're not finding buyers. They're not finding people that want to buy these slots for the astronomical price that's in it, for the cost that you have to put in each and every year for the LCK. Like, I think there's some teams that clearly do want out because they know that they're never going to be able to break into that upper echelon, and their time to, you know, establish a brand or establish anything here has passed. And Riot at that point is going to have to step in and just say, okay, We'll buy you out. We'll try and find the right partners to get in that want to be here. I don't know what exactly that entails, but like it sounds like from the way Arnold's signaling, whether it's just him or Korea as a whole, that there are some underlying financial problems and pressures that are affecting some of the core pillars of the league that might collapse here in the next year, despite everything else going well. And I think if T1 wins their first LCK title in a bit, like I'm predicting here, viewership's still going to do well, but there's this underlying murkiness of the LCK that you just have to worry about and deal with. So that covers the domestic leagues. Let's go on to the international events. I'm only going to go in depth on one of them, and that's Worlds. But I will say for first stand, I do think Korea will win it. For MSI, I also think Korea will win it. For Worlds, I feel like I can get a little bit more specific because it's going to be on home soil for North America. And we have not, the last time it was here, I don't want to remember that, but that was the 3-15 year for those of you that need the reminder on it. We had nobody get out. Each team won one single game in their group, and that was it. And we've been lucky the last 2 years with North America last 3 years, and pretty much getting cupcake draws in the Swiss stage, which I think will continue to happen for the most part. But my bold prediction is this will finally be the year that everybody's expecting us to be the weakest internationally because of how rosters have shaken up and how things seem a little bit weaker than they have before. I feel like this is the year that North America is going to make a run and finally do it on home soil. Like, we have not had a team make semifinals in North America. In 2016, C9 did get out of their group, but they lost in quarterfinals, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, 2022 speaks for itself. I think this is the year. I don't know why. I just feel like the year that everybody's saying that we can't do it, like it's definitely not going to happen. Last year, we had this like really kind of almost false sense with FlyQuest. I just feel like this is going to be the year for some reason that we make it happen. And we outperform EU, which I like. And specifically, this would be a bold prediction on top of that. EU versus NA in the quarterfinals instead of Swiss. We both get one team out, and then we face off in the quarterfinals, and America beats Europe on home soil. Imagine the crowd in America as we beat Europe in a 5-game series. Oh, I need it. Oh, I need it so goddamn bad. You have no idea. But my overall prediction for Worlds. T1 fans, cover your ears. You ain't going to like this. Because I have T1 winning the LCK, and I think the pressure shifts pretty drastically going in as the favorite to win Worlds because you win the LCK, I don't think T1 wins it. Because of that, I do think Gumayusi does have that clutch factor in him at Worlds. And I do think the Hanwha Life can put it together. We saw Zeka perform best the last time it was in North America. Zeus performed incredibly good as well. Like, it was literally Kingin or Zeus winning MVP in that series. And, well, actually, no, Carrier played pretty damn well as well. I think he was going to be my vote had T1 won that series. But regardless, I just like what I'm seeing from Hanwha Life in terms of picturing how Worlds will go in New York with the rowdy crowd. Like, it's just going to be a good time, and I think that they do it. And then we have to start having conversations about Zeka being the North American just king, champion, whatever you want to call him. And as a result of this, I think Gen G blows up. I think it's the last year you will see this version of Gen G. Like, I just think they blow everything up. I don't think they get rid of Chovy unless Chovy decides to leave, because if they don't win this year, what do you say as Chovy? Like, what can you do at this point? Like, it feels like you're never going to be able to get it done unless, you find a way to get to like Hanwha Life or something. I don't know. I just think Gen G is destined to blow it up if they do not win Worlds this year. But I promised you all one big one at the very end. And if you kind of piece together what I've been saying in this video and like some of the hints that I dropped throughout it, you might be able to predict where I'm going to go with this. But if you look at who I said is going to win the international events, that would basically mean that Korea wins all of them, right? So I'm pretty much writing off the LPL and China. And I think that's because China will continue to crumble a little bit in the international ecosystem as they do shift over to mobile games, and we just look at the trends that exist. It's been since 2023's MSI when JDG won that China has captured a title. Now, they were close at 2024 Worlds, but close isn't really that good. They weren't close this past year, that's for certain. In 2023, they weren't really all that close either. And 3 more wins for Korea on the international stage, I think signals to right, not just for China, but across all these leagues, that there is something absolutely broken with LoL Esports in the goals that they are trying to do, because they stated back in 2018, 2019 that their goal is to provide more diversity. It cannot just be Korea winning it all every single time, and yet somehow that's right back where we will potentially be again. I mean, it's basically where we are right now. So with that, I think Riot makes some sort of massive restructuring announcement to LoL esports as a whole, knowing that they have to do something to shake this up so that it's not just Korea dominating every single event. And I don't know what that's going to entail. I'm not even hazarding a prediction on that at all. I'm just saying I think Riot, if it goes that way, will step in by the end of the year and pull whatever lever they have, especially with League getting its revamp in 2027. It feels like the time to really say, hey, if we're going to do anything explosive, now would be when you do it. So that's all I'm saying. Anyways, I'm curious to see how close my predictions were to some of yours in the comments. I'll be reading through them. I'll respond to as many as I can, but I hope you all had a happy new year. I hope you're excited for 2026 and the year to come. I'm not quite sure what my video on Monday is going to be, but then on Wednesday, we kick off the North American Tag Team event, and I'll be providing updates for you all for the next week after that. And then we will get into previewing the LCS, assuming we don't get any other news drops, but I'm assuming we're going to get a bunch of stuff coming up. Also, we have the cinematic next week. That's the other big one that should be a lot of fun. So again, if you haven't done already, if you haven't already done so, be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video, on the next short, or on the next live stream. See you around.